is it's a startup accelerator alternative, basically. So for all intents and purposes, we're a membership organization. We provide the same sort of experience you would get in an accelerator without an application form, without having to move, without having to fit certain criteria. Sector agnostic, stage agnostic, age agnostic. It's 12 quid a month and you get game-changing benefits, global community, and on-demand support at any time to build your business.
Great, and I know a lot of the value from the membership comes from the community, whether that was kind of in-person events, whether it's chatting online. How big is that community now?
So when COVID hit, all of our events stopped. Pre-COVID, we were running 100 events a year, 21 cities, 9 countries, about 4,500 people a year coming on completely free. That gave birth to our online community, which is obviously where our members are now. So our membership is somewhere between 180 and 200 people. It's not, I guess it depends on whether you compare it to a accelerator or a massive membership organization. So we're tiny versus the FSB, for example, but we're 5 times the size of a normal accelerator. So we're somewhere in between the two, I would say. But yeah, that's probably about the size that we have. And then I guess as far as like business metrics go, just to share if anybody's interested, over time we built an email database of about 6,000 people and a whole meetup community of about 12,000 people. So you can see how those numbers trickle down over time. But yeah, that's probably the size of our community. Communities experience something that a lot of other businesses don't. So people think about product market fit. They talk about product market fit all the time. I'm sure you've spoken about this with your community a lot. And that's like a thing that every business has to find. But I remember a little while ago writing a blog about something about community product fit, which in my opinion is much harder to find than product market fit, which is already hard to find, so it's an absolute nightmare. But what I mean by that is that when you start with a community, which a lot of people are being advised to do so now, which I think is potentially bad advice, by the way, is you build a community and then you figure out what to sell to them, that's fine. But when you have to find the common denominator of what people want across 100, 200, 10,000, however many people it is, really difficult because you have to speak to each of them. You have to then find out the correlation between what they need that they think they need, what they need that they don't know they need, what you're potentially good at in that mix, and what you actually could charge money for, the whole ikigai kind of mix, I guess. And so that becomes so difficult when you do it with just one person, let alone 100 people, let alone 1,000 people. And so the way that I've done it over time is taking feedback from people, and over time basically I describe it more as a staircase, I guess, adding stuff going up, and then over time stripping all the stuff that people don't use, don't like, don't need out, and then leaving the bits that they do, and then adding more stuff in response to people's requests and thoughts, and then stripping it out again. And over time, getting to something that just about works, depending on the lens you look at it through, it's successful. As one example, I guess, of a time that's happened, would be Dffrnt+. So Dffrnt+ is our advisory level membership. People pay 120 quid a month at the moment, and they get access to somebody they otherwise wouldn't necessarily be able to access, who would be like a non-exec director, someone who's really high level, would usually charge £1,000, £2,000 a day for their time, to be able to give them advice and leapfrog over years worth of struggle and stress with a little bit of experience, or a lot of experience in the experience they have. And that was just in a reaction to people wanting more time than I could offer. For 12 quid a month, there's only so much time I can manually give people before it becomes not a profitable exercise. And so people kept asking for 20 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes. And at one point, I'm too generous as it is, I think, but at one point I just said, look, I might have to charge you for this. Is that okay? And they're like, yeah, sure, it's fine. I was like, okay. Did some maths and thought 10 times the normal membership feels like it makes sense. It felt right to me, and economically it looked like it worked. And said, 120 quid, okay? And they were like, yeah, fine. So we did that, and that was one occasion where it worked. There are many occasions where it didn't. We had a member's card at one point. Don't know why. I don't remember what we had it for. But all of those things were in reaction to what people wanted, stripping it out and improving it over time. So, yeah.